Hey, buddy, you aren't supposed to be here. You need to use the one down near the street. We got a call saying you were causing trouble.
I haven't done anything wrong. I'm with the FBI, and I have the right to be here.
All right, but I'm telling you, this isn't your spot. Let's step outside and talk.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm finishing my workout. I told you, I haven't done anything.
Easy. Hands back, sir. You're being detained until we sort this
I'm
out.
telling you, you're making a mistake.
We'll talk outside. Watch your step.
I want my supervisor called.
You can make that request once we're outside. Keep walking.
A white police officer thought he could intimidate the wrong man out of a gym without consequences. He was dead wrong, and the body cam footage would prove it. Before we continue, let me take this opportunity to thank you so much for supporting our channel. Just choosing to watch our video means a lot to us. Before we go any further, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop your city, your country below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if this is your first time here. Terrance Brooks walked into Elevation Fitness just after 6 in the morning. He'd been coming to this gym for 3 months now. Same routine, but in a gym where 90% of the members were white, Terrance knew attention found him anyway. He swiped his membership card at the front desk. The teenager working nodded without looking up. Terrance headed to the locker room, stored his bag, and made his way to the cardio section. 10 minutes into his run, he noticed the stairs. A middle-aged woman on the elliptical kept glancing over. 2 men by the free weights were whispering and looking his direction. Terrance kept running. He was used to this. Then the gym manager appeared, a thin man in his 50s named Greg. He walked past Terrance twice, phone pressed to his ear, eyes lingering a bit too long. Terrance increased his speed. He had 40 minutes before he needed to be at the field office. He wasn't about to let paranoia ruin his workout. That's when Officer Brett Sullivan walked through the front doors. Brett was 35, built like someone who spent too much time at the gym himself. Blonde hair buzzed short, jaw tight. He wore his uniform like armor, and his hand rested on his belt near his weapon as he scanned the room. His eyes locked on Terrance immediately. Brett approached the front desk first, spoke briefly with the teenager, then started walking toward the cardio section. His body cam was already activated. The red light blinked steadily on his chest. Terrance saw him coming. He slowed the treadmill but didn't stop. Brett stopped 3 feet from the machine. "Excuse me, sir, I need you to step off the equipment." Terrance looked at him, still jogging. "Is there a problem, officer?" "I said step off the equipment, now." Terrance hit the stop button. The treadmill slowed to a halt. He stepped off, grabbed his towel, and turned to face Brett fully. "What's this about?" "We received a complaint that you've been causing a disturbance, harassing other members." Terrance's jaw tightened. "A complaint? From who?" "That's not your concern. What is your concern is that you need to leave the premises immediately." "I'm not leaving. I'm a paying member here. I haven't harassed anyone." Brett stepped closer. "Are you refusing a lawful order?" "I'm refusing an unlawful order. You can't kick me out without cause. I want to see this complaint. I want to know who made it and what I supposedly did." Brett's face hardened. This wasn't how he expected this to go. Most people complied. Most people left quietly when a cop told them to leave. But Terrance wasn't most people. "Sir, if you don't leave voluntarily, I will remove you by force." "Then you better have a damn good reason, because I'm not going anywhere." The gym had gone quiet. People had stopped their workouts. Phones were out. Some were recording. Brett's hand moved to his handcuffs. "Last chance. Leave now or you're under arrest." Terrance stood his ground. For what? Working out? Being black in a white gym? For trespassing and disorderly conduct. "I'm not trespassing. I have a membership, and the only person being disorderly here is you." Would you have stayed and fought, or would you have just left to avoid the confrontation?
Brett pulled the handcuffs from his belt. The metal clinked in the silence of the gym. "Turn around, hands behind your back." Terrance didn't move. "You're actually going to arrest me? For what crime exactly?" "I already told you, trespassing and disorderly conduct." "I have a valid membership. That's not trespassing. And I've been completely calm this entire time. That's not disorderly conduct." Brett's voice dropped lower. "You're resisting now, too. That's another charge." "I'm not resisting. I'm asking you to justify your actions. There's a difference." The people watching had their phones up. At least a dozen recordings were happening. The gym manager stood near the front desk, arms crossed, saying nothing. Brett stepped forward. You think you can just do whatever you want, come into places where you don't belong and act like you own them? There it was, the truth beneath the uniform. Terrance's eyes narrowed. Where I don't belong? I paid my membership just like everyone else here. We got a complaint, multiple complaints actually. People don't feel comfortable with you here. Comfortable? What does that mean? Comfortable with what? Brett didn't answer directly. You're making a scene. You're disturbing the peace. Now turn around before I make you turn around. Terrance raised his voice, not shouting, but loud enough for everyone to hear. I want everyone here to witness this. This officer is threatening to arrest me because someone complained about my presence, not my behavior, my presence. A woman near the weights spoke up. He wasn't doing anything. I've been here the whole time. Brett shot her a look. Ma'am, step back. This doesn't concern you. It concerns all of us, she said. This is wrong. Brett ignored her. He grabbed Terrance's arm. Terrance jerked it away. Don't touch me. You have no legal right to detain me. You just assaulted an officer. I pulled my arm away from an illegal grab. That's not assault. That's self-defense. Brett's face flushed red. His hand went to his weapon. He didn't draw it, but the threat was clear. You want to add resisting arrest to your charges? Keep going. I've dealt with people like you before. You think you're tough. You think you can talk your way out of anything. People like me? Terrance stepped closer, not backing down an inch. Say what you mean, officer. People like me. What does that mean? Brett's jaw clenched. The body cam on his chest captured everything. Every word, every gesture, every flicker of rage in his eyes. It means people who don't respect authority, people who think the rules don't apply to them. The rules apply to you too, officer. You can't just arrest someone because you don't like them being somewhere. I can arrest you for whatever I determine is a violation of the law. No, you can't. That's not how this works. Brett grabbed for Terrance's wrist again. This time he got a grip. Terrance resisted, pulling back hard. Let go of me. Stop resisting. They struggled for a moment. Terrance was strong, 40 years old, but in excellent shape. Brett was younger, but driven by anger more than technique. You're assaulting me, Terrance shouted. Everyone see this. He has no cause to arrest me. Brett forced Terrance's arm behind his back. The handcuffs snapped around one wrist. You have the right to remain silent, Brett started. I'm a federal agent. FBI. My credentials are in my bag in the locker room. You're making a mistake. Brett froze for just a second. Then he laughed, a short, bitter sound. Sure you are, and I'm the president. You think I'm stupid? My name is Terrance Brooks. I'm a special agent with the FBI. My badge number is in my wallet. Check it. You're a liar, and you're under arrest. The second handcuff clicked into place. Terrance looked directly at the body cam on Brett's chest. Agent Terrance Brooks, FBI, badge number 7425. This arrest is illegal. I'm being detained without cause based on racial profiling. Brett pulled him toward the door. Keep talking. It'll make the charges worse. Do you think Brett actually believed Terrance wasn't FBI, or did he just not care?
Brett pushed Terrance through the gym doors and into the parking lot. The morning sun hit them both. A squad car sat near the entrance, lights off. You're making a career-ending mistake, Terrance said. His voice was steady, despite the handcuffs cutting into his wrists. Shut up. My credentials are in locker 47. The combination is 8329. Open it, look at my ID. End this now before it gets worse for you. Brett shoved him toward the patrol car. I'm not falling for whatever scam you're running. It's not a scam. I'm telling you the truth. Brett opened the back door of the cruiser. Get in. Check my ID first. Please, just look. I said get in. Terrance didn't bend to get into the car. He stood firm, even with his hands cuffed behind him. You're really going to do this with your body cam recording everything? My body cam is recording a lawful arrest of a trespasser who assaulted an officer. That's not what happened, and you know it." Brett grabbed Terrance's shoulder and tried to push him down into the car. Terrance resisted, planting his feet. "I'm not getting in that car until you verify who I am. You're resisting arrest, again. I'm exercising my rights. You have no probable cause, no warrant, no legal justification." Brett's frustration boiled over. He grabbed Terrance harder, trying to force him down. Terrance twisted, trying to break free without falling. They struggled beside the car. Brett's radio crackled. A voice asked for his status. Brett ignored it. "You think because you're a cop you can do whatever you want to people who look like me?" Terrance's voice rose. "You think that badge gives you permission to violate my civil rights? You don't have rights when you're breaking the law. I didn't break any law. Someone called and complained that a black man was at their gym. That's it. That's the entire reason you're here." Brett finally forced Terrance into the back seat. He slammed the door shut. Through the window, Terrance kept talking. "My supervisor's name is Assistant Director Karen Voss. Call the FBI field office. They'll confirm my identity in 2 minutes." Brett walked to the driver's side. He got in and looked at Terrance through the metal partition. "You've got quite the story. Federal agent, sure." "It's not a story. Make one phone call and you'll know." Brett started the engine. "We'll sort it all out at the station." "No, we'll sort it out right here. Go back inside, get my wallet, look at my badge." "I'm not leaving my vehicle with a suspect unsecured." "Then call for backup. Have another officer check." Brett pulled out of the parking lot. The gym disappeared behind them. Terrance leaned back against the seat. His wrists hurt. The cuffs were too tight. But his mind was clear. He knew what was coming. This wasn't his first encounter with a cop who let bias override judgment. But it was the first time it had gone this far. "You know what the penalty is for false arrest of a federal agent?" Terrance asked. "You're not a federal agent." "Yes, I am, and when they confirm it, you're going to wish you'd listened to me back in that parking lot." Brett's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "Keep threatening me. It'll look great in the report." "I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you facts. I detained you without cause. You refused to verify my credentials. You assaulted me when I resisted an illegal arrest, and it's all on your body cam." "My body cam shows you being aggressive and non-compliant." "Your body cam shows me asking for legal justification that you couldn't provide. It shows me telling you I'm FBI and you ignoring it. It shows you using force against someone who was just working out." They drove in silence for a moment. Brett's jaw worked like he was chewing on something bitter. "Why didn't you just leave when I told you to?" "Because I didn't do anything wrong, and I don't run from bullies with badges." "Bullies? What else do you call someone who abuses their authority to intimidate people they don't think belong somewhere?" Brett's eyes met Terrance's in the rearview mirror. For a second, something flickered there. Doubt, maybe, or fear. But he kept driving. The station was another 10 minutes away. Terrance counted every minute. He knew how this worked. Once they processed him, once they ran his name, the truth would come out. And then Brett's world would collapse.
What would you do if you were Brett in that moment? Double down or admit the mistake? They arrived at the station. Brett pulled into the garage and parked. He sat there for a moment, engine off, staring straight ahead. Terrance watched him from the back seat. "Last chance? Call the field office before you process me." Brett got out without responding. He opened the back door and helped Terrance out of the car. They walked through the garage entrance into the station. The booking area was quiet. A sergeant sat behind the desk, filling out paperwork. She looked up when they entered. "What have we got?" she asked. "Trespassing, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, assault on an officer," Brett said. The sergeant raised an eyebrow. "Assault? You okay?" "I'm fine. He got physical when I tried to remove him from a gym." Terrance spoke up. "Sergeant, my name is Terrance Brooks. I'm a special agent with the FBI. My credentials are in my gym bag, locker 47 at Elevation Fitness. This arrest is illegal."
The sergeant's pen stopped moving. She looked at Brett. "Did you verify this?" "He's lying, trying to talk his way out of it." "Did you check his ID?" "He didn't have ID on him. He was working out." "So you didn't verify his claim?" Brett shifted his weight. "I'm telling you, he's lying." The sergeant stood up. "Sullivan, you know the protocol. If someone claims to be law enforcement, we verify before we book, every time. It's obviously a lie. Then it'll take 2 minutes to prove it's a lie. What's his name again?" "Terrance Brooks," Terrance said. "Badge number 7425. My supervisor is Assistant Director Karen Voss at the field office downtown." The sergeant picked up her phone. She dialed. Brett stood there, handcuff keys in his hand, not moving. "Yes, this is Sergeant Mills at the 14th Precinct. I need to verify the identity of someone claiming to be one of yours. Name is Terrance Brooks, badge number 7425. There was a pause. The sergeant's expression changed. Her eyes widened slightly. "Yes, he's here. He was arrested by one of our officers." Another pause. "No, ma'am, he's fine. He's in custody at the moment." She hung up. She looked at Brett. The look said everything. "Uncuff him, now." Brett didn't move. "What?" "He's FBI. You just arrested a federal agent. Uncuff him right now." The keys rattled in Brett's hand. He stepped behind Terrance and unlocked the handcuffs. They fell away. Terrance rubbed his wrists. Red marks circled both of them. The sergeant came around the desk. "Agent Brooks, I apologize. This should never have happened." "No, it shouldn't have. We'll need to file a report, and your supervisor is on her way down here." Terrance nodded. He looked at Brett. The officer's face had gone pale. "You want to tell me again how I don't belong?" Terrance asked quietly. Brett said nothing. Within 20 minutes, Assistant Director Karen Voss arrived. She was a white woman in her 50s, gray hair pulled back tight, wearing a sharp suit. Her face was stone. She walked straight to Terrance. "Are you hurt?" "I'm fine." "Did he strike you?" "He grabbed me, forced me into the car. The cuffs were too tight." She turned to the sergeant. "I want copies of everything. The call log, the arrest report, and the body cam footage. All of it." "Yes, ma'am." Voss looked at Brett. "Officer Sullivan, you just made a federal case, literally." Brett finally found his voice. "I was responding to a complaint." "A complaint about what?" "That he was disturbing other members at the gym." "Was he?" "That's what I was told." "Did you witness any disturbance?" Brett hesitated. "No." "Did you ask for specifics about the complaint?" "The manager called it in." "And when Agent Brooks told you who he was, what did you do?" "I didn't believe him." "Did you attempt to verify?" "No." "Why not?" Brett had no answer. The truth was too ugly to say out loud in that room. Voss turned back to the sergeant. "I want that footage within the hour, and I want a formal complaint filed against Officer Sullivan for false arrest, excessive force, and civil rights violations." The sergeant nodded. "It'll be done." Voss put her hand on Terrance's shoulder. "Let's go. We'll get you checked out and document everything." As they walked toward the exit, Terrance looked back at Brett one more time. The officer stood there in the booking area, alone, his career crumbling around him. The body cam footage was reviewed that same day. It showed everything: Brett's aggression, his refusal to verify Terrance's identity, his use of force, his words about people not belonging. The FBI opened an investigation. The police department launched an internal review, and the media got hold of the story within 48 hours. Brett Sullivan was suspended immediately. His past cases were examined, and what they found made everything worse. Could one moment of bias really destroy an entire career?
The investigation took 4 months, but what they uncovered took years to build. Brett Sullivan had 17 complaints filed against him over his 8-year career. 15 of them involved black men. 12 involved questionable stops or searches. 3 involved excessive force. None had been seriously investigated. None had led to discipline. The complaints sat in his file like warning signs everyone chose to ignore. Until now. The body cam footage from the gym became the centerpiece of the federal case. Prosecutors played it in court. Every word, every gesture, every moment of Brett's refusal to verify Terrance's identity. The jury watched Brett grab Terrance. They heard him say, "People like you." They saw him ignore a direct claim of federal employment. They witnessed him force a man into a police car for the crime of working out while black. It took them 3 hours to reach a verdict. Guilty on all counts: false arrest, deprivation of rights under color of law, excessive force. The judge sentenced Brett Sullivan to 2 years in federal prison. No early release, no probation. 2 full years. Brett stood in the courtroom, his lawyer beside him, his face blank. He didn't apologize, he didn't show remorse. He just stared straight ahead as the bailiff led him in handcuffs. The same handcuffs he'd used on Terrance. The city moved quickly after that. They wanted to avoid a larger lawsuit. They offered Terrance a settlement, $5,000 for the arrest, the humiliation, the violation of his rights. Terrance's lawyer told him to fight for more, told him they could get 6 figures easily. But Terrance didn't want a long legal battle. He wanted it over. He took the $5,000, not because it was enough, but because the real victory wasn't the money. It was Brett Sullivan in a cell. The gym fired their manager. Greg, the man who'd made the call to police, who'd stood by and said nothing while Terrance was arrested, he was gone within a week. Elevation Fitness issued a public apology. They announced new anti-discrimination training for all staff. They offered Terrance a lifetime membership. He declined. He found a new gym. 6 months after the trial, Terrance sat in his office at the FBI field office. He was working a case involving financial fraud. Normal work, the kind of work he did before that morning at the gym. His phone buzzed. A text from his brother. "Saw the news. Brett's doing his time. How do you feel?" Terrance thought about it. He thought about that morning, the stairs, the confrontation, the handcuffs, the ride to the station. He thought about all the times it could have gone differently. If the sergeant hadn't verified his identity, if there had been no body cam, if he'd been just another black man with no badge to protect him. He texted back, "I feel like I got lucky, and that's the problem." Because he knew the truth. He was FBI. He had resources. He had people who believed him. He had a body cam recording that couldn't be disputed. Most people didn't have any of that. Most people just had their word against a cop's, and their word usually didn't count for much. The system had worked for Terrance, but it had only worked because he was part of the system, because he carried a badge too, because he couldn't be dismissed or ignored. What about everyone else? That question stayed with him. It stays with a lot of people. Brett Sullivan served his 2 years. He was released in 2027. His law enforcement career was over. His pension was gone. He'd never wear a badge again. Some people said justice was served. Others said 2 years wasn't enough. Some said the real problem wasn't one cop, but a system that let him operate unchecked for 8 years. They were all right. Terrance still works for the FBI. He still goes to the gym. Different gym, different people, but some of the same stairs. He carries his badge now, even when he works out, just in case. And that tells you everything you need to know about whether things have really changed. Do you think justice was truly served, or does it take more than one cop in prison to fix a broken system? Let us know in the comments, and if this story made you think, hit that like button and subscribe. We bring you real stories about real issues that matter. Share this with someone who needs to see it, because the only way things change is if we keep talking about them.